40 laps left. Starting from the back of the field, at Darlington, the track too tough to tame. A track that just destroyed Kyle Larson's race with a flat tire. A track that ate Joey Logano alive. A track where the defending Darlington winner, Denny Hamlin, couldn't hold on. And in the middle of all that carnage, a 22-year-old kid in a Spire Motorsports Chevrolet, not a Hendrick car, not a Penske car, not a Gibbs car, passed 18 cars in 40 laps and finished fourth. His name is Carson Hocevar, and if you don't know that name right now, I promise you, by the end of this season, you will. Here's what I need you to understand about Carson Hocevar before we get into what happened at Darlington. Because the race result alone is incredible, but the context is what makes it historic. Hocevar drives the number 77 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. Spire, not Hendrick, where Kyle Larson has a 5-year contract and a HendrickCars.com sponsorship that pays for 35 of 38 races a year. Not 23XI Racing, where Tyler Reddick has Michael Jordan's money and Denny Hamlin's experience behind him. Not Team Penske, not Joe Gibbs Racing, Spire Motorsports. A team that most casual fans couldn't name if you gave them 10 guesses. That's the car Hocevar's driving, and he's 15th in the Cup Series standings with it. Think about that for a second. 15th, 171 points. 0 wins, but 15th. He's ahead of Daniel Suarez, who spent years at Trackhouse and Joe Gibbs Racing. He's right behind Shane Van Gisbergen, a 3-time Supercars champion with 5 Cup wins already on his resume. And he's only 4 points clear of the chase cutoff line in 16th. Every single point matters. Every position matters. And he's doing it with a team that operates on a fraction of the budget that the Big Four organizations have. NASCAR knows what they have in this kid. Last November, they launched a 5-part docuseries called Rising about the next generation of NASCAR stars. 3 drivers featured. Carson Hocevar was one of them, alongside Jesse Love and Raja Caruth. NASCAR doesn't make a docu-series about you unless they think you're the future. They're telling you who this kid is. The question is whether you're listening. Now let's talk about Darlington, because everything about this race was designed to crush a small team. The 2026 Cup Series introduced a new 750 horsepower short-track package this season. More power, less aerodynamic grip. Darlington was one of the first tracks to run this package. Denny Hamlin warned on his podcast, Actions Detrimental, that Darlington would be a wild card because of how the new underbody and Goodyear tires interact. He was right. The tire wear was brutal. Cars were falling apart. Kyle Larson, the 2-time defending champion, had a flat tire with 11 laps left and finished 32nd. Joey Logano, a 3-time champion, finished 33rd, 3 laps down. These aren't bad drivers. These are the best in the world. And Darlington broke them. Meanwhile, in practice, the data was ugly for the usual contenders. NASCAR.com reported that among the 26 drivers who posted 20-lap averages, the 4 slowest were typical Cup Series contenders: Kyle Larson, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Chase Elliott. The big teams were struggling. The short-track package had leveled the playing field in a way that nobody expected. And Carson Hocevar, he started from the back. The back, at Darlington, where the walls are inches away and one wrong move puts you in the fence. Most drivers starting from the rear at Darlington are just trying to survive. Get through the day. Bring the car home in one piece. Bank whatever points you can. Nobody expects to charge through the field at the track too tough to tame. 40 laps to go. Hocevar is buried in the field, and something switches on 18 cars. He passed 18 cars in 40 laps. At Darlington. I keep saying at Darlington because I need you to feel how insane that is. This isn't a super speedway where you can draft past people. This isn't a road course where you can outbrake someone into a corner. This is a 1.366-mile oval where the groove is narrow, the wall is right there, and passing requires you to physically put your car in places where most drivers won't go. 18 cars, 40 laps. That's a new position every 2.2 laps. For 40 straight laps, at a track that was eating champions alive. And he finished fourth. Sportskeeda's post-race analysis said it directly. Among the winners, Carson Hocevar stands on top. Not Tyler Reddick, who won the race. Hocevar, because relative to where he started and what he was driving, nobody in that field had a better day. The Hurricane, that's his nickname, lived up to it. He tore through that field like Darlington owed him something. Now here's the part that makes me lose my mind. While Hocevar was gaining 18 spots, look at what the champions were doing. Larson was losing his tire and his toe link. Logano was 3 laps down. Hamlin was fading backward. 3 drivers with a combined 6 Cup championships between them. And a kid from Michigan in a Spire Motorsports car beat all of them. By a lot. But Darlington isn't just a feel-good story. It has real consequences. And this is where Hocevar's season gets fascinating. Look at the updated standings. Hocevar is 15th, 171 points. The chase cutoff is 16th. Daniel Suarez sitting right behind him at 167. That's a 4-point cushion, 4 points. That's the difference between making the postseason and going home. 1 bad pit stop, 1 flat tire, the same kind that destroyed Larson at Darlington. Hocevar drops out. The margin is razor thin. But here's the flip side. Shane Van Gisbergen is 14th at 174 points, 3 points ahead. Joey Logano is 12th at 185. Michael McDowell is 17th at 158. The entire middle of the standings is packed. 15th through 17th is separated by 13 points. One big weekend, one Darlington-style charge, and Hocevar could jump 3 or 4 spots. And under the new chase format, that matters more than ever. No win and you're in. No automatic qualification. Strictly the top 16 in points after 26 races. So a kid driving for Spire Motorsports who can grind out a 4th at Darlington from the back of the field, that's exactly the kind of consistency this format rewards. You don't need to win. You need to be there every week. And Hocevar is there. Week after week. In a car that has no business being 15th in the Cup Series. And if you think Darlington was a one-off, let me take you back 2 weeks. Phoenix Raceway. Straight Talk Wireless 500. And Hocevar's team had to change the alternator and part of the dashboard before the race. That penalty sent him to the rear of the field for the start. Sound familiar? Starting from the back. Mechanical issues. A track that punishes mistakes. He qualified 7th. The speed was in that car. But the penalty wiped it out. And what did he do? He fought his way forward. Again, gained positions. Again, banked points. Again. After Phoenix, he'd climbed to 14th in the standings and gained 5 spots in one weekend. That's the pattern. That's what makes Hocevar different from a guy who just had one good day. Phoenix, start from the back, fight forward. Darlington, start from the back, fight forward. 18 positions in 40 laps. The situations that are supposed to break a young driver are the situations where Hocevar is at his best. When the chaos is the loudest, when the champions are crashing and fading and falling apart. That's when the hurricane shows up. So let me leave you with this. Tyler Reddick won at Darlington, and that was impressive. Broken alternator, battery change, still won. But Reddick has 23xi Racing, Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Toyota Engineering, a car capable of winning poles at 169 miles per hour. Carson Hocevar has Spire Motorsports, a car that started from the back, and he finished one spot behind two RFK racing drivers and one spot ahead of some of the most well-funded operations in the sport. 18 cars, 40 laps, Darlington. The kid is 22 years old, and he's sitting 15th in the Cup standings. 4 points inside the chase, beating former champions with a fraction of their resources. NASCAR made a docuseries about him for a reason. They see it. The garage sees it. And after Darlington, everybody else should see it too. The question isn't whether Carson Hocevar belongs. He answered that on Sunday. The question is, what happens when he gets a real ride? And that question should terrify every driver in the top 10. Who gives Hocevar a top-tier seat first? Comments, now. Like it. Subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.